At camp, Brandon and Peter were on guard, keeping watch. Brandon saw a single walker, and with one strike, kills it. He went down to examine it. "This is so gross," he says, looking into its pockets. "You don't have to do that every time, you know," Peter tells him. "Maybe one day it'll be useful," he says. "Hate to break it to you, kid, but there's no police station where you could just hand in photos for missing people." As Brandon looked through the pockets, he found a wallet. He opened it up and looked inside of it. There was a man with brown hair, and he had a beautiful family. But Brandon noticed something else. There was no ring on the man's finger, just a ring in his ear. "Unbelievable! This waste of space stole a wallet before he died," Brandon says in astonishment. "Stealing isn't punishable by death, but I think that guy deserved it. I mean, the world ends and you steal someone else's wallet?" Peter asked, confused. The two of them are approached by Kyle and Chase. "Brandon, Peter, the boss wants to see you guys," Kyle states. "What? Why?" Brandon asks. "I don't... Just hurry up. He's getting everyone together," Kyle tells them. Chase walks with them. "The boss wants everyone. Something big is going down, if I had to guess." The four men walked towards the large crowd of people in the middle of their camp. There were kids, elders, women, and finally, the guards. Brandon noticed a lot more of them lately. There were dozens of them now, almost like an army. Brandon looked at Peter in confusion. He was also concerned as Xavier stepped forward with his brother behind him. Everyone was talking loudly, wondering what was happening, when Greg yelled out, "Silence!" Everyone jumped and stopped talking as Xavier addressed the crowd. "I know you all are scared and confused. I know you're hungry and tired. I know that because I am too. I am sick and tired of sleeping with one eye open and worrying every day if this would be the day where we lose everything, where we lose our homes, the clothes off our backs, or God forbid, our friends and loved ones," Xavier says, looking at his wife and two kids. "I know you don't want to hear that. You want to hear me say I'm not scared of losing my family, but I am. Because I'm not a savage like those bastards out there," he shouts. Everyone listens to Xavier as he continues. "I have had enough of these attacks from them. They've stolen the lives of our friends. For 2 years, we've been hiding from them, moving place to place, but no more! We've never been the ones to attack them because we've never had the manpower or weapons to properly defend ourselves, but now we do! If you want to see your children live and grow up, then I ask all of you for your support. Let us kill these demons out there so we can finally have a future," he screams. Everyone cheers on, excited and full of anger at the speech. "This time, we are the wolves and they are the lambs for the slaughter. This is war, and now it's coming for them." At Nest, we see a large gathering of people in the streets. Everyone was in mourning, especially May's parents and brother, mourning her death. Pastor Matthews was holding a funeral service for their fallen. Rachel looked to see Grace consoling her kids and little Nicole. Today, we are gathered together for the memorial services for May, Franklin, Jessica, Isaac, Samuel, Nancy. As Pastor Matthews continues to talk, listing off the deceased, Benjamin was angry. He wanted to clench his aching ribs after his fight with the king, but he didn't. He didn't want anyone to know he was in pain. Everyone was going to want revenge for this, especially him, with who he can only assume was their leader. Benjamin looked at all the people crying for their loved ones. These raiders were going to pay. All of them. He was going to kill all of them. On behalf of the family, I would like to thank all of you for coming today. Death reminds us that we live in a fallen, imperfect world. We are reminded of mankind's failings, flaws, and limitations. Anytime we stand at the gravesite, we are reminded of the shadow that has been cast over humanity because of Adam's sin. Paul said in Romans 5:12 that through one man sin entered the world, and death through sin, and thus death spread to all men. The universal nature of mankind's problem is further expressed in Romans 8, where Paul refers to the sufferings of the present time, the whole creation being subject to fertility, creation itself being under the bondage of corruption. But death doesn't merely remind us of the universal nature of mankind's problems. God did not leave us in the valley or under the shadow. When we know God and the truth of His Scripture, death also brings us, as Pastor Matthews continues talking. Benjamin looks towards Rachel and her family. He noticed Tyler and Rebecca's traumatized facial expressions. Surely they went through a lot during the attack, and May deserved better. Benjamin felt so bad for her. She was his friend. He didn't know May well, but she was a sweet girl. He brought her and her family to Nest to be safe. They needed a plan. After the funeral, he watched as everyone started to head to their homes, all except him. He headed for the infirmary. Inside, he saw Hannah with her head lowered, washing her hands. "Hannah?" Benjamin asked. "I didn't see you at the memorial service." He notices Hannah wiping the tears from her face. Benjamin knew how she was feeling right now, all too well. "Do you want to talk about it?" he asked with sincerity. "People are dead, Benjamin. Again. Lives and families gone forever," she says, heartbroken. "I couldn't save anyone," she shouts, angry with herself. "That's not true. You saved John last year. Don't you ever forget that. You saved me too the year before that," Benjamin yells. "You are a good doctor, Hannah. You're not a miracle worker. No one is. Look, people die, but being angry with yourself isn't going to save the rest of the lives living here. Having confidence will. Isn't that what you want?" he asks. Hannah thinks for a few moments, letting out a deep breath, calming down. "Yeah, it's what I want. I just want to make my life count," she states. "You have," Benjamin says to her. "When I am needed, when I have to act, I don't hesitate. I don't think about what if I can't do it. I make myself do it until I can't anymore." "I'll try that," she says, somewhat assured. "So, can I help you with something?" she asks. "Yes," he tells her. "What is it, Benjamin?" "My pain's back. That fight with who I can only assume was their leader left me in terrible condition. I can't fight feeling like this," he states. "You shouldn't be going after those people," Hannah rebuttals at him. "You're still injured from the warehouse, and you're not supposed to take more than one tablet every 12 hours, she states. "We need to go after those people, and I can't do that with my bruised ribs back. They need me out there," he tells her. Hannah tries to be understanding. "Benjamin, I know you're in pain, but rest is better, trust me. If we overdo your medicine," Benjamin calmly interrupts her. "I know, Hannah, but I don't have time to rest. These freaks can attack us again. Sacrifices must be made," he states with determination. "You're not a sacrifice I could part with," Hannah tells him. Benjamin lowers his head at the sincere comment, but continues to look at Hannah for her answer. "You're not going to leave without it, are you?" she asks. "No," he says, holding his hand out. Leaving the infirmary, Benjamin goes and sees Rachel kneeling at the graves. He notices Damien's is not far, but pays no mind to it. He sits down next to her. "Rachel, I'm so sorry about me," he tells her. "I'm gonna miss her." "I was right there," she told him. "This raider that attacked us, she was... I don't know how to say this," she states. Benjamin gently takes her hand. "Just tell me. I won't think any differently about you," he states. Rachel takes a deep breath and mentions how May and her were together during the attack and how she was killed. She tells him how she killed the raider and how she found out it was her friend before they even met. How she was cowardly and left her family for weeks to get away from Damien, and how he found her and killed the girl's parents before dragging her back. I feel like I brought all of this on us. I couldn't save May, she says saddened. Benjamin looks at her. You saved Nicole last night. You saved me last year. Rebecca too, he says, assuring her. Thank you. I appreciate that, she says as she gives him a hug. Benjamin also hugs her back, and they let go after a minute. Benjamin tells her that he has to go find Carla, but if she needs anything, to come find him. She agrees and walks, going to Victor's house. Outside, she hears crying, and Victor leaves, quietly closing the door behind him. Victor notices her and wipes the tears off his red face. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, she says, nervous. No, I just needed some air, Victor states. Do you want to talk about it? She asks, sympathetic. I'm sorry to ask this, but when you lost your brothers last year, how did you get over it? He asks. Rachel was taken aback at the question. She was still uncomfortable talking about it since it was so recent. Rachel shifted her hair nervously at the question. Well, I guess I just kept myself busy. I loved them very much, but they never wanted to be a part of my life. Victor looks at her, kind of shocked, as she continues. I can say you'll see her again in heaven, where no one will ever suffer again. I can say it'll get easier with time. I can say that you need to grieve first, get closure, but I don't always know what to do. I don't have all the answers. I can't even look after my own family. There's not only one way to deal with death in your life. She puts her hand on his shoulder. Only you can decide what's the best way to heal, and whatever it is, we'll help you, she says. Victor cries, hugging her. All those times I told her to get out of my room when we were kids, getting in trouble, it all meant nothing. I wasted so much time in my life. I hate myself. I hate them for taking her from me. I miss her so much, it aches. My heart literally feels broken. I just want to scream at the world. Rachel continues to hug him as he sobs beside her. Benjamin is walking towards Carla, who is guarding the door. Ready to make this bastard talk? She asks. More than ready, Benjamin says, drawing a knife. But I need you to do something for me, he says. The raider sits in his cell, tied from the back of his hands. He struggles with his bindings, trying to get out, hearing two people talking in the other room for what it felt like an hour. Benjamin opens the door, letting Carla in first. They walk towards their prison. Carla takes a chair sitting next to him, while Benjamin stands in the back of the room, giving deft glances without breaking eye contact with the man, keeping total silence. That guy wants to know why you attacked us. I do too. But he's willing to remove all your limbs to get answers. I don't want that. Do you? Carla asks. The raider smiles. I'm not afraid of death. It's all around us. Ragnarok is here, the man says. Ragnarok? Carla asks, confused. What's Ragnarok? Benjamin answers her. It's the Norse mythology belief of the end of the world, called the final fight between good and evil, the destruction of the world, where supposedly no one will be left standing. Carla is surprised. That sounds so when the Viking shouts out, Truth! The corpses that you see move are the followers of Loki, Our king has opened our eyes. Let him open yours too, he says like a madman. Benjamin comes closer. Who is your king? As he lowers himself to the Viking. You are not even worthy to clean the blood off his blades, he tells him. I fought your king. He left with his tail between his legs, bleeding after he crossed my path, Benjamin tells him. Lies! No one can beat our king. He's the strongest there is. Benjamin has had enough of this and pulls out one of his knives. You know, it's been a while since I clipped off some fingers. I might be rusty, but I remember it just as well. You might not care about the deaths your people caused here, but I do. Just like how I'm not going to care if I chop off every single piece of your body off of you. It wouldn't affect me one single bit, he states sinisterly. Will you care, though? He asks, looking at him in the eyes. Every eye, nail, finger. You'd be surprised how easily we bleed, Benjamin tells him. Carla gets between them. Benjamin, no. Please, we're not doing that. Look, she tells the man. Please, tell us why you attacked us. We have food, enough houses for all of you, she states. Benjamin cringes at the stupid suggestion. This waste of space is not going to live one more day. He attacked you. That's justified by death to me. Benjamin gets angry. No, Ben. No torture. We're better than that. We have to be. The raider laughs at them, so Benjamin pulls out his throwing knife. What's so funny? Benjamin asks, launching the knife into his shoulder. The man screams as Benjamin runs forward and twists the blade further. Why aren't you laughing anymore? He asks, full of anger. Ben, stop! Outside now! She shouts. Benjamin stops and they go outside as they leave the Viking, slamming the door. Carla takes a deep breath as Benjamin looks towards her. So you think our good cop, bad cop routine worked on him? She asks. Benjamin smiled, looking at a baby monitor, hidden in his cell linked. We'll have to see, he says as they watch as the Viking slowly tries to pull the knife off his shoulder with his teeth. It won't be long before he cuts the rope. Every minute counts. Get everyone ready, he commands. Carla hands him a large bag and a vest. It's got everything you asked for. Ammo, gas masks, flashbangs. Benjamin smiles, taking it as he begins to put it all on him. After an hour, the sun was finally setting. The raider used his knife to break open the locked door. It was nighttime. The raider quietly sneaked around. He looked around to make sure that no one saw him. He grabbed one of the doormats and laid it on top of the barbed wire fence as he tries to climb the fence and get out. He makes it to the other side, fully climbing the fence. In the distance, Benjamin takes his walkie-talkie. He's on the west side now. On the other end, Jace mentions how they didn't expect the raider to wait until nightfall, and this will complicate things for them. Benjamin agrees. The Nest crew follow after the raider, heading into the woods, with John holding Merle on a leash, as Merle leads them to the raider. An hour earlier, back home, loud shouting was heard coming from Victor's family home. No! You three can't go out there! If something happens to one of you, it'll kill me! Is that what you want? Karen screams. Jeff holds onto his crying wife. Honey, the boys are going. I have to go with them. We're going after those people, so they never hurt us again. How can we just stay here after what they took from us? He asks. But our boys, she says, saddened and terrified. Jace approaches his mother and hugs her. I love you, Mom. We all do. But Victor and I need to do this. For May. Victor also goes to his mother. Mom, you looked after us since the day we were born, and now it's time that we looked after you. We will come back. We promise, Victor tells her, assuring her. I will look after them. I will bring them back home, Jeff tells his wife. Karen cries and walks to each of them, kissing them before giving them a hug. She watches as they all leave out the door. Back in the present, the crew continued to make their journey after hours of walking. There were 8 of them: Benjamin, John, Carla, Rachel, Merle, Victor, Jace, and their father, Jeff. Jace walks up to Benjamin. "You were right, Ben. Smart plan, man." Jace compliments him. "Thanks, but we have a lot of work to do. We have to kill them. All of them," Benjamin states. "Are you ready for what's about to happen?" he asks Jace. "I am. Those bastards killed my little sister. They deserve everything that's coming to them," he says, agreeing. As they continue to follow Merle as the dog sniffs, leading them. They continue to follow him as Carla walks towards Benjamin, who grinds in pain. Benjamin pulls out a small bottle and downs 2 pills at once. "You sure you should be taking those?" Carla asks, confused. "I need them," he tells her. "You guys don't need a soldier who's in pain and can't fight." "How many of those have you taken?" she asks. "I've taken 5, he says. Carla was shocked. "Ben, you're not supposed to take that many. You can get sick or worse." Benjamin didn't want to hear this again. "Carla, we can talk about this later. Everyone needs to keep quiet," he tells everyone. He noticed Rachel in the back and really wishes she stayed back home. As they walk, suddenly they hear a loud gunshot. Benjamin pushed his hand back, blocking everyone. He was nervous. Everyone was shocked. Merle started to growl. He growled like crazy as a large pack of dogs came running towards them. Benjamin hit one of the dogs with his assault rifle. Jeff and his sons fired their guns and killed some of the dogs. "Get back!" Benjamin shouts at the dogs. Rachel notices some lights in the distance of the woods. "Hey guys, there's something out there," she says, scared. Benjamin heard her, but everyone else was too distracted to notice. Benjamin saw little green lights in the forest. They were moving. "What are those lights?" Rachel asks. "No. Run! Run!" he shouts. Everyone begins to run in the opposite direction. As they run, shots are fired in the trees. Bullets went past the group as a single bullet hits Jeff, knocking him down. "Dad!" Victor shouted, going to him. Jace aimed his gun, firing. "Get Dad! I'll cover you!" he shouted. Benjamin heard something and saw metal cans landing in the forest all around them. He saw the lights moving closer. He pulled out his bag and began to throw some flashbangs. In the forest, Brandon took his goggles off, seeing them as a... "What are those lights?" Rachel asks. "No. Run! Run!" he shouts. Everyone begins to run in the opposite direction. As they ran, shots were fired from the trees. Bullets went past the group as a single bullet hit Jeff, knocking him down. "Dad!" Victor shouted, going after him. Jace aimed his gun, firing. "Get down! I'll cover you!" he shouted. Benjamin heard something and saw metal cans landing in the forest all around them. He saw the lights moving in closer. He pulled out his bag and began to throw some flashbangs. In the forest, Brandon took off his goggles, seeing them as a bright flash explodes, blinding him and everyone around him. Everyone screams in pain, removing their night vision goggles. As they continue to scream in pain, Benjamin runs forward, firing his gun, hitting 2 soldiers, killing them. Brandon starts to see again and ducks behind a large rock as someone fires multiple shots at him. Meanwhile, the metal cans shoot out smoke. When one of the dogs tackles Rachel down, the dog leaps forward and sinks its teeth into her leg. Rachel screams when Carla fires her gun, killing the dog. "Rachel! Oh my God!" she says, shocked, noticing the small bite she sustained to her lower leg. "I'm fine," Rachel defends. You're not! You're bleeding! Carla says, panicked. The gunfire and smoke continued in the forest. Everyone was coughing. Benjamin needed to get them all out of there. Everyone was coughing as Benjamin noticed Victor trying to drag his father away. He saw Carla and Rachel coughing from the smoke. They were hiding behind rocks, and they were going to pass out from all the smoke. Benjamin had to act fast. Benjamin fires the last of his ammo from his mag, hitting someone. "Peter, get down!" Brandon shouts. Peter ducks as Benjamin gets down, tossing another flashbang, scaring them off. He runs to them and sees Rachel's leg. Benjamin was devastated. "It was one of the dogs," Rachel says, holding her leg in pain. Benjamin opens his backpack and pulls out the gas masks and puts them on Carla and Rachel. "What are you doing?" Rachel asks as Benjamin puts the mask on her. "The right thing. Be safe," he says, putting another mag in his rifle. "Carla, take Rachel and find the others. Go!" he shouts. Rachel tries to go after him, but Carla stops him. "What are you doing?" she asks her friend. "I'm so sorry, Rachel, but we have to go. I'm getting you out of here," she says, carrying her. Benjamin looks back at them leaving and smiles before heading into the smoke. Benjamin fires his gun, hitting one of the soldiers. And elsewhere, Jace fires his gun, almost hitting Brandon. Brandon fires his gun, hitting Jace in the shoulder. As Jace falls down, he pulls out his pistol and continues to fire at the men. In the clouds of smoke, Benjamin fires his rifle, hitting two more soldiers. Benjamin was out of ammo and noticed one of them trying to get back up. Benjamin ran forward and headbutted him in the head with his gun multiple times, completely missing the figure standing behind him. He heard a shotgun cock and grabbed the man's body, using him as a shield. The man fired the shotgun, hitting Benjamin through the man. As Benjamin landed down on the ground, he tried to roll away when he felt another bullet hit him in his vest. Benjamin could barely stand as he became surrounded. Out of the woods in the clearing, Carla lays Rachel down to tend to her bleeding leg. Carla removes her bag and hands Victor some medical supplies. Victor tends to his father. "Wait, where's Benjamin?" John asks. "He stayed behind to let us escape," Carla says, applying disinfecting to Rachel's wound. Rachel cried as Victor began to freak out. "We have to go back! Jace isn't back!" John tried to restrain Victor. "Victor, listen," but Victor pushes him away. "Don't tell me to listen! That's my brother out there!" Rachel cries. "What are we going to do now?" she asks. John addresses his fellow scared survivors. I don't know," John says, defeated. In the woods, Benjamin and Jace are dropped to the ground, bloody and barely able to stand up, as a man stands over them with dozens of men pointing their guns at them. "Well, this just got interesting. Mind telling us who you two are?" he asked them sinisterly.